everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is O'Crumpets Jr. And right now in the pro wrestling world, there are three wrestlers on the free agent market that everyone's trying to get. Obviously, your top two companies are going to be AEW and WWE. You also have your other companies like Impact and NWA, but let's be honest, they're not signing in those companies. Obviously, those wrestlers, if you have been keeping within the loop on pro wrestling news, is Kota Ibushi, Jay White, and Kenny Omega. Today, we're going to be doing Kota Ibushi. I put up a poll asking you which video you wanted to see first. It was a 50-50 split between Jay White and Kota Ibushi because two people voted, which thank you, by the way, if you voted. I really appreciate it. I will be continuing to do those polls, so if you didn't get the opportunity to vote in this poll, don't worry. I'm not mad at you. I understand. I will be putting up more polls because I think it's kind of cool. I want you guys to decide what the content will be on this channel. Also, I want to apologize. There have been no videos within the last 5 days when I uploaded my initial welcome back video. That's just because I've been really busy. I've been planning out some videos to make. Hopefully today I'm going to get a lot of videos recorded, and I'm going to have more videos to disperse throughout the week. And hopefully have some videos going up throughout the weekend as well. I'm still figuring out the schedule and everything, but don't worry, there is content coming, I promise. So to break down where Kota Ibushi should go, we're going to be looking at three different topics, basically. The wrestling style of said wrestler, Kota Ibushi, the potential stories that are available for Kota Ibushi, and the state of the company, that being either WWE or AEW. We're going to be taking a look at all three of those. I believe those are very strong topics to talk about and deciding which company Kota Ibushi should go to. Obviously, there are so many more factors that go into where said wrestler should go, and we're going to dive a little bit into that, but those are really the three main topics that I'm going to be talking about. So obviously, if you guys have your own opinions on where Kota Ibushi should go, please let me know in the comments. And again, keep it civil, y'all. Kota Ibushi is 40 years old currently. He started his pro wrestling career in DDT in 2004, and ever since then, Kota Ibushi has been a megastar in Japan. Now, obviously, Kota Ibushi had some troubles with New Japan Pro Wrestling, which I'm not going to get too deep into, but his contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling expired on February 1st of this year. So now Kota Ibushi is a free agent. He can go wherever he wants. And obviously, people are thinking either AEW or WWE. To start off, we're going to talk about Kota Ibushi's wrestling style. Where do I think Kota Ibushi fits best? Now, if you guys don't remember, Kota Ibushi did actually spend some time in WWE in 2016. He was a part of the Cruiserweight Classic and then spent some time in NXT doing some tapings. He was offered a developmental contract, but ultimately decided to turn it down. Now, obviously, WWE has taken a very drastic approach to their wrestling style within these past few months. Obviously, Triple H taking over has changed a lot of that. We're seeing more of a looser wrestling style. It's still the WWE style, but with a little bit more spice on it. We're seeing a lot of the smaller guys come in and doing more acrobatic moves. We're not seeing the slow headlock pace that Vince McMahon absolutely freaking loved. So the wrestling style is a lot more exciting, and I feel like we've seen it already, actually. Kota Ibushi can fit into the NXT-esque style of wrestling, and I believe that right now, yeah, Kota Ibushi could get in the ring with anyone on the WWE roster, NXT or main roster, and freaking kill it. I mean, oh my God, imagine the dream matches. I'll get into it later. And then obviously in AEW, Kota Ibushi would kill it there as well. I mean, he knows everyone there, and they allow pretty much, if you want to do whatever, you can do whatever you want in the ring in AEW. So, I mean, when it comes to the wrestling style, man, I'm going to say it's a draw. And you know what? I'm going to keep it at a draw, but I'm going to say it's a draw. I mean, a lot of people I've noticed on the internet are saying, you know, there's still that wannabe war between WWE and AEW. Vince is gone. I want people to realize this. Vince McMahon is no longer here. And yes, I know a lot of people don't like Triple H's booking. I get it. but he changed the in-ring style and presentation so much. You have to admit that. I feel like we're getting banger matches every single week, way more often than we did with Vince McMahon. I mean, we're getting more diverse matchups. Matches aren't as repetitive as they once were as well. So to say that the in-ring work in WWE doesn't somewhat match up to All Elite Wrestling, that's just, you're being ignorant at that point. I'm being straight up with you. You know, like you need to let it go. Vince isn't here anymore. Well, he is, but he's not in control of creative, or at least the in-ring work. At least that's what we know. Now we're going to get into the potential stories that Kota Ibushi can have in either WWE or AEW. And I'm going to be honest, I'm leaning towards AEW on this one. I mean, obviously we have the potential stories with Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman. I mean, literally, he has so much history with majority of the people in that company that there's a lot of story left to tell. I feel like the Golden Lovers, the Golden Elite. I mean, there is so much left to tell with a lot of the people in that company that I kind of want to see it. But that's not to say that there aren't a lot of cool opportunities for stories in WWE. Now, obviously, when looking at both of the fan bases, AEW has a lot more of a hardcore fan base. I think everyone knows that. So once Kota Ibushi appears on AEW television, everyone basically is going to know who he is and the history that he has with everyone else. The problem with WWE, however, is that you're going to have to establish who this guy is first. And he doesn't really have that much history with anyone there except for like Cody Rhodes. That's the most recent thing that he's done with anyone in that company. So it's going to be harder. It's going to be a lot harder to get stories developed for Kota, especially with his lack of, his ability with speaking English. When it comes to WWE, if you don't speak English well enough to perform promos to the WWE standard, you're going to be in trouble. And we've seen that in the past. I think the only person that's really excelling at that right now is Asuka. And I am more faithful in Triple H allowing Japanese or any foreign wrestlers, for that matter, to speak in their native language. I feel like I'm more comfortable with him doing it. And I'm hopeful that he's doing it. We're seeing a lot with Asuka. Asuka's, all of her promos are basically in majority Japanese, which is really cool. But again, everyone knows Asuka. Asuka's been there for years, and she just started doing this. Kota's going to be brand new. No one's going to know who Kota is in WWE. I mean, yes, he was there in 2016, but again, only the hardcore fans who really watched NXT or the Cruiserweight Classic at that time. So it's going to be hard for Kota if he goes to WWE. I mean, I have faith in Triple H's, creative team and his, creative mind, but I feel like it's just going to be a lot easier for him to step into an AEW ring and just go at it. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many opportunities for him in AEW when it comes to potential stories. So when it comes to that, I'm going with AEW. I feel like that's just a no-brainer. Now, the state of the company. What this means is basically the type of roster that each company has at the moment. The room at which I think Kota Ibushi could fit in. WWE could use him. WWE could definitely use a guy like Kota Ibushi right now. Obviously, we're seeing signings like Dragon Lee. We're seeing the interest in Kenny Omega and basically more interest in a lot of independent guys, which is what Triple H's thing is. So I can see Kota Ibushi fitting in on any show in WWE, that being NXT, SmackDown, or Raw. If Kota were to sign with WWE, I feel like he would begin in NXT, which he did in 2016. He would probably have like a Shinsuke type of run in NXT. It'll be very short, maybe a year at most. Again, he is 40 years old, so we can't be taking our sweet time with him. If we want to get the most out of him. I feel like he would have a Shinsuke or maybe even a Bobby Roode type of treatment in NXT, where it's like, get him in, push him to the moon, win the NXT championship, get him out. Basically, just get him in there for just amount of right of time, so we can learn, the camera angles and everything like that. But again, if they want him to cut promos and to present an actual character, that's going to be hard because, you're going to have to teach him English. You can't just teach someone English that quickly. I mean, you're putting them under a lot of pressure if you do that. But wrestling wise, yeah, he could kill it on any show. But again, I feel like he would start in NXT, and depending on where they want to take him, he might be stuck in NXT. Just because he was a big star in Japan don't mean crap. We've seen it before. I just think when it comes to him, it won't be as fast-paced as a lot of people probably would hope. He would definitely have to take a couple years to adjust to the WWE style, unless I'm totally wrong, unless Triple H already has stuff planned out for him. I mean, they obviously, are interested in him. They were interested in him. They wanted to keep him in NXT, but, so I could be wrong on that. He might bring him onto the main roster and shoot him to the moon right away, but I honestly highly doubt it. I don't think that would happen. Now, when it comes to AEW, their roster's bloated. They can't even fit their jeans on, my guy. The belt buckle is popping off. You need to go to the gym, shed some of the weight, okay? There's too many wrestlers in that godforsaken company, and it scares me for people that come in. I mean, every single time a wrestler signs, everyone's saying, well, we're going to see them on Dark next week. Oh, wow, another Rampage guy? Well, now you have Ring of Honor, so just put them there. But it's like, these are big wrestlers. We've seen it. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is there's just too many wrestlers in that company right now, and I'm scared that Kota would possibly get lost in the shuffle. But I don't think that would happen with Kota Ibushi. I think Kota Ibushi going there would actually it's pretty safe for him because obviously he's Kenny Omega's best friend. He has so much history with the Young Bucks and everything. And I think Tony Khan, even though I don't agree with the ways that he handles a lot of the wrestlers that he brings in, I trust him enough to handle Kota Ibushi. Do I think he would be world champion status? No. I don't know where Kota would fit in. Now that I'm thinking about it, I could see him in the TNT title range. I could see them possibly doing an angle where the Golden Lovers come back and the Young Bucks turn heel and they go off in the tag division. That might actually be what would happen most likely. And maybe even see him in the trios division. I mean, there are a lot of divisions that he could fit in, and I feel like Tony Khan would take advantage of him. I really do, not in a bad way, in a good way. I do think I trust Tony enough to realize hey, we have Kota Ibushi. Let's not stick him onto a Rampage taping. Not saying he won't be on Rampage. I mean, everyone's on Rampage, but I feel like he would be a consistent Dynamite player, and yeah. So with that being said, looking back on my notes, looks like AEW got the victory in this one. It was 2-0-1 because it was a draw. Now, obviously, when looking at the other factors that play in, I mean, does Kota want to wrestle on the big stage like WrestleMania? I mean, does that matter to him? Because if so, this is that time to sign. Again, he's 40 years old. If he wants to be on the big stage in America, he needs to sign now. There's no question about it. Because obviously, when he signs, it's going to be a 3 to 5 year contract, most likely. And he doesn't have the time to waste, okay? I mean, yes, he looks great. He's in phenomenal shape, but when it comes to being on the big stage like that, this is that limit almost, And then obviously he has his wrestling school that he started up in Japan. I believe it's in Japan. Correct me if I'm wrong. But if he wants to run that, he's going to need a flexible schedule, which he won't have in WWE. He won't have that. In AEW, he's at least going to have a very flexible schedule. And he's going to be able to run his wrestling school. So that's my thoughts on where Kota Ibushi should go. If you agree with me or disagree with me, make sure you let me know in the comments below. Again, don't be fighting amongst one another. This is pro wrestling at the end of the day. This is not anything important. So So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also, click the bell notification so you can get all the updates when I upload my videos. And you know what? Whoever comments first, I'll give you a shout out in the next video. How about that? I might start that. Whoever the first comment is on any video, you get a shout out in the next video. All right. So comment. You know, if you want a shout out, comment. Just do it. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Be on the lookout for the next video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.